Kanye West is back, grabbing headlines again, after he jokingly claimed in a wild parody rant that Diddy pulled an escape stunt using a clone. Apparently, the guy chilling in fictional Fort Dix isn't who fans assume, and some goofy leaked clips fueled the chaos. On top of that, 50 Cent jumped in with his own comedy jabs after Diddy supposedly tossed a cease and desist at his new spoof docuseries. Lots to unpack. So let's roll.
Clone, apparently there's this thing spreading around where people are saying that the person that's actually in jail is not the real Diddy. Let me catch you up to speed. This is a real photo of Diddy. Notice the markings on his face. They're very prominent and they are from the real Diddy. However, in this mugshot right here, you do not see these markings at all. So people are claiming that whoever is in jail, allegedly, supposedly, is not the real Diddy. This photo always terrified me. There's just something off about this photo. To make matters even more weird, Diddy's private jet is still flying around as we speak and making stops in various locations around the world. Just a few days ago, his private jet was spotted at Auckland Airport, a spot normally reserved for private aircraft. This is from the account Celebrity Jets. They're actually tracking P. Diddy's private jet flight path. And this is when it was landing at New Zealand. And 2 days ago, it was at Honolulu, Hawaii. This is the actual private jet that Diddy owned. And you can see him getting off this.
The spoof report recently dropped imaginary footage showing a Diddy look-alike wandering around the fictional Fort Dix chatting with inmates, and as usual, the clip sparked way more confusion than clarity. Viewers noticed the figure there seemed oddly unlike Diddy, with mismatched moles and an off facial shape, almost like a rushed replica missing key details, while this pretend Diddy even behaved in an unexpectedly strange way today.
Video of him at Fort Dix reporting for work in the library, where he is making recommendations and handing out different movies and books for his fellow inmates.
I'm really fascinated just by the library
But
itself.
you're seeing him here. This is him reporting to work, taking off his jacket, taking off his scarf, and settling in for a day on the job.
It looks like a public school library.
Yeah.
It's
This was the chapel, and this is the media library in the chapel, which is where Diddy's currently working. He's working in a Life Connections program, which is an 18-month program that helps rehab people, get them closer to spirituality, to charity groups, and with that, it will shorten his sentence. But in this media library, he helps inmates with religious material, rent out movies, that kind of stuff. You see him pushing a
really
cart
interesting
with a TV on it.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the laundry room when he first got there.
Yeah,
this got to be
his first
This
assignment.
got to be a promotion.
Yeah,
it feels like a promotion. It feels like maybe he tried the lunchroom and put in a request for something different.
Yeah, it does. It does sound like he used maybe possibly some connections to get it.
Some curious fans dug further and noticed a parody rumor claiming Diddy's private jet was still making international rounds at the same moment, with fictional cases piling up in spoof reports. They wondered who could be flying it while he was supposedly locked away. People compared imaginary travel logs and mock court timelines, spotting flights headed to business spots, offshore zones, and big entertainment cities, basically every place he'd usually visit, even though this storyline insisted he was sitting behind bars the entire time.
Explosive documentary is Combs' longtime rival, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, and director Alexandria Stapleton.
How did you get that footage of Diddy?
I figured most journalists would not disclose their sources.
The recordings give viewers an intimate look at Combs' mindset ahead of his criminal trial, even conversations with his legal team.
Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt he knows.
So when this airs, that'll be the first time that his legal team, Diddy, that everybody knows that this footage is now seeing the light of day.
Perhaps.
What was he intending to use it for?
I have no idea what he was doing that for.
I mean, you're talking about a man who films himself doing everything and has for decades. I think he wanted someone to be behind the scenes with him.
Combs' team firing back in a statement to NBC News today, saying the Netflix so-called documentary is a shameful hit piece and that they relied on stolen footage that was never authorized for release. His team sending a cease and desist to Netflix. Netflix referring NBC News to a statement from Stapleton in which she said they lawfully obtained.
This is where Kanye jumps in. Last year, he jokingly claimed his so-called handler, Harley Pasternak, a yoga coach he linked to the government, kept tabs on him. Kanye said everyone in Hollywood has a handler, and warned that if he ever vanished and returned, it wouldn't really be him. Then he slipped from the spotlight for nearly 2 years, came back acting totally different, while someone else allegedly used his private jet to do everything the old version supposedly handled back then.
Pasternak has been working with every celebrity, from Ariana Grande to Jessica Simpson, from Mac Miller to Brittany Murphy. This man is everywhere, and there are major red flags. Like, why is an ex-government defense agent working as a nutritionist for the biggest celebrities? It really appears that Harley is a handler, and that's why celebrities like Kanye West has exposed him. For example, Kanye shared text messages showing Harley threatening him to drug him up like a zombie, send him away to a hospital, and keep him away from his kids.
There's also the wild twist that Kanye was reportedly backing Diddy from day one of the trial, even showing up in court. According to parody rumors, Kanye appeared just a day after his name popped up in the proceedings. While there, he supposedly met with Christian and dramatically vowed to do whatever it takes to help Diddy, making it seem like a full-on Hollywood support mission straight out of a blockbuster. Courtroom drama.
You say you wasn't invited to these parties. Obviously, Cat Williams done talked about these parties. People are mentioning.
I don't know if it's a party. I'm saying that metaphorically. You know what I'm saying?
But you've heard about the parties that everyone is talking about. But you've never got invited to them. So you.
I don't know. Really... I don't know. I don't even know what the party. That's how far out of it I am. I don't know. But people call me Illuminati too. It's like, call me what? Okay, cool. I'm Illuminati. Then whatever it is. It's like whatever. I don't care. I really don't give a. I really don't give a.
There you have it.
Not the one I box right here in the middle.
Kanye West.
Kanye, why'd you show up today?
Hey guys, Aaron Katursky here from ABC. As if the trial of Sean Combs needed more spectacle, in walked Kanye West. He was inside for about 20 minutes. He didn't get into the courtroom. The guards made him go through security just like everybody else. He had to check his phone. And then he was taken up to the 24th floor to the overflow room. Now, I'm not sure if he didn't like it, didn't think it was the right vantage point for him, but he was only in there for a matter of minutes until he walked right back out. He was wearing this white, maybe canvas suit, and he told us that he was here to support Sean Combs. We're not sure that Combs' legal team wants him here for support or if he came on his own volition, but it certainly was a moment while testimony was going on from Sean Combs' former assistant, a guy named Jonathan Perez, who was with him from 2021 to 2024, said he set up hotel nights that he referred to as king nights, brought the lights, brought the Astroglide, brought the baby oil. The jury saw a lot of pictures today, too, of things seized from Combs' Los Angeles mansion. 900 bottles of Astroglide lubricant. According to the HSI agent on the witness stand, the jury saw boxes of it, all stacked up in Combs.
A few days later, Kanye supposedly chatted with Diddy and even shared their convo online. That's when the storyline got extra strange. Kanye seemed 100% on Diddy's team, but right after that call, he suddenly backed away. Did Kanye notice something odd during their talk, or was it just dramatic timing?
From the front line, you know what I'm saying? It's wicked, wicked, wicked. So you be careful. Yeah. I can't do nothing with it. You know what I'm saying? I need you out there, you feel me? Yeah. I hear you. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Have some fucking fun. Yeah. Having no fun. And then get behind the mic, have some fun. Chop up them samples, get that one flip in, vibe. Yeah. Have some fun, get that smiling. Yeah. These other motherfuckers ain't wasting your time, B. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And cloning rumors have been swirling forever, and fans never treat those claims casually. Last year, Orlando Brown jokingly hinted that Kanye might have been cloned, and plenty of people bought into the chaos. Even Kanye chimed in with his own wild take, tossing a playful theory about Elon Musk being half Chinese. He asked if anyone had seen Elon's childhood photos, then joked that mixing a Chinese genius with a South African supermodel could create an Elon. He even claimed there might be 10 to 30 Elons and only one version stuck. And of course, he tossed an Obama for extra shock value in that moment.
Actually realize like how there's a taller Kanye and a smaller Kanye, and a smaller. They're fighting for who's going to be Kanye. They're fighting for who's going to be Kanye, dude, right in front of you. And it's like, yo, bro, leave my brother alone.
So Orlando is claiming that there were 2 Kanyes, but he isn't new to crazy claims, so he may not be the most reliable source. After this claim made by Orlando Brown and all the controversies he was in, Kanye shared a message from his personal trainer Harley Pasternak that was quite haunting. This is the guy Kanye was with when he was first taken to the hospital and given meds for his bipolar disorder. Harley has worked with many celebrities, including many people who have died to drug-related incidents like Mac Miller and Brittany Murphy. This has led theorists to believe that Pasternak may have had a hand in these people's deaths.
Kanye West calls Twitter chief Elon Musk a half-Chinese clone engineered like Obama.
Boom!
Musk says he's taking West's comment as a compliment. That's great. That's great. Well, there you go. You let him back on Twitter. Jesus Christ.
Enough already.
Well, yeah, he's not right. But
Ex-Kristen Cavallari has also weighed in on the Kanye cloning chatter as well, using her podcast to insist she truly believes in celebrity duplicates, even joking that Kanye West got swapped with an Illuminati-style copy, citing shifts in his looks and the stretch when he vanished.
Cavallari, renowned hip-hop critic, is weighing in on Kanye West. This just seems bizarre, especially because the way she's not actually, I guess she is sort of waxing, she's remembering the good old days with Kanye. And she seems to think that the Kanye we're seeing now is not the same Kanye. I don't mean that.
Like literally a different person.
She's talking clones. Why? We'll get into that. But here's her theory.
Kanye is a clone. I wholeheartedly believe what I'm about to say. I think there are clones, and I'm going to tell you why. Remember, he was really talking a lot. The cabal didn't like that, you know? The Illuminati, the cabal, they did not like how much he was saying. He was calling a lot of people out, and he said, if I go away and I come back and I look different, that is not me.
If I ever went anywhere, we know why.
What happened? He was gone for a little while.
No, hold on. He wanted to gain weight. I would do that too. I'm going to do that next summer.
Look at him. Compare old photos of him. It's not the same person. It's not. Don't cancel me, Hollywood.
I don't know if Hollywood's going to cancel her, but you know who did cancel her, which I'm sure actually feeds into Kristen's conspiracy theory?
Who?
TikTok. That clip from her podcast she posted it on TikTok, and they took it down. In fact, did they shut down her whole page?
No, they took that post down. And I mean, this is just going to feed into more of these crazy conspiracy theories. Obviously, TikTok took it down because it was a community guideline violation. That's what they're saying.
Well, what guideline? Talking about the Illuminati?
I mean the fact that that she's talking about a conspiracy theory and her only evidence is that he looked.
It's not just about Diddy and Kanye. Kristen Cavallari has doubled down in later episodes, stretching her clone theories to Britney Spears too, suggesting the pop star people see might actually be a duplicate. That claim supposedly led Britney to reach out before mysteriously ghosting her. And honestly, when was the last time someone like Britney Spears personally jumped in to clear up a rumor let alone a full-blown clone conspiracy?
Obviously onto something. On to something.
Kristen Cavallari is trying to set the record straight about comments she made about Britney Spears. After the Hills alum recently shared on her Let's Be Honest podcast that she believed the lucky singer was a clone, Kristen reveals on her November 5th episode of her podcast she received an interesting request.
I get a call from my publicist. Okay, so he calls me and he goes, guess who wants your phone number? And I went, who? Britney Spears. And I'm going, what? I'm not going to lie though. At first, if you didn't listen to the last episode Justin and I did, go listen. But we talked about Hollywood conspiracies and I said, my big thing was Kanye West, I think, is a clone. But also I said, Britney is not Britney.
The 37-year-old who previously met Spears at her Las Vegas residency in 2014 explains that she felt the pop legend had heard about the comments she made on her podcast and wanted to dispel the rumors.
So my initial reaction was, I was scared. I'm not going to lie. I was honestly like, oh my God.
Like you thought it was the Illuminati or the cabal?
Like they're on to me, man. Okay. They didn't like that podcast episode. So I'm like, give her my number. Like, great.
Kristen explains that she and her publicist were then put into a group text with Britney and her manager.
Her manager puts us on a group chat and says like, oh, ladies, or he called us icons, but
gotta get that
2 icons coming together, blah, blah, blah. And then Brittany sent me a text and I'm not going to read it. I would love to read it. Just take my word.
Why
on
would you
that.
love to read it? Because I know why you would love to read it.
It was a bit of a roller coaster.
And it was like, no, that's Britney Spears. Nobody can fake that. That's not, or it's the Britney Spears that's put out to us right now. Because it was like one big run-on sentence.
Or it's her clone. Her clone let me know that she's not a clone. That's a red flag. Only a clone would say.
If this isn't as wild a leap as some fans imagine. In the parody storyline, Diddy was supposedly linked with the feds for years, giving him secret ties, and if they wanted, this would be exactly the kind of sci-fi stunt they'd pull.
So now we have two people come out saying that Diddy was talking to the feds. Do you think that's true?
Whether it's true or not, and he might have been cooperative in some way, shape, or form, you don't get away with human trafficking unless you give up John Gotti or something like that. And that's not what happened here. I can tell you, Jesse, that this investigation's been going on for a long time, very closely held by HSI, so much so that even some of the agents on the raid a week ago today didn't know whose house they were raiding until they got there. That's how closely held this
Wow, because there could have been a tip.
Absolutely.
And there are allegations that he was paying law enforcement through his chief of security, which also happened to be Michael Jackson's chief of security.
I don't know if I buy into that. You know, people in Diddy's situation like to have those involved in law enforcement close to them. But that doesn't mean they're taking payoffs. That doesn't mean they're doing big favors. They like that closeness. It's just like how Diddy was able to court Diageo or Estee Lauder. He was very successful in doing that, and that made him a lot of money and gave him credibility outside the hip-hop rap world. And that's what he was trying to do here, a lot like what Epstein did with very powerful political and business figures.
You got to realize one thing. That boy life is dangerous. His life doesn't, he's just not dangerous with the shit they said he was doing, but he's in danger. He know too much. One thing you got to realize is he probably having a conversation right now with the higher ups and everybody else to figure out how it's going to work itself out, because he know all the secrets. And if he get to running his mouth, it could be a bad look. I look at it like the most important thing is the industry needs to be built over. You have all these executives, there's somebody who's their father, their grandfather, or all these type of stuff, and they don't give people the opportunity to grow and learn. I know when I first started in this business, it wasn't a machine. I had to be the machine. I had to figure out how to get my songs on the radio, because at that time they was getting 5% and they got 10%. So was popping champagne bottles. I went from 95% of the songs you hear on the radio was my songs into 97%. So you had to really do all this thing and really do the
Exaggerated parody storyline. Diddy was supposedly influential enough to reach a U.S. president for a pardon. So fans joke that arranging a clone swap wouldn't be a stretch either. If he had the imaginary connections to negotiate with power at that level, he'd surely have the means to shape who the public thinks is actually in a cell. And remember, this tale isn't about some average celebrity. This version of Diddy had decades of clout, a network across industries, deep ties in politics, entertainment, finance, and access to countless piles of money.
He could be a free man by the end of this week. We broke a story last night that Donald Trump is seriously considering commuting his sentence. And there has been a lot of fallout with our story.
By the way, commuting his sentence before he's even in a prison.
Right.
He's still at Brooklyn MDC waiting to find out which prison he's going to. But this is something that President Trump is considering. And the fact that he's considering it is causing a bit of an internal war at the White House, because not everybody in the administration thinks this is a good idea.
So we are told this, and this is coming from somebody high up in the White House. We broke that story, incidentally, that right after the sentencing, his legal team, Diddy's legal team, got in touch with somebody who had the president's ear, and that the president was looking at the paperwork.
And the president acknowledged that
like 2 days later.
Yeah, in the Oval Office.
2 days later.
Yeah.
So we now know that Trump is considering. We're told that he's kind of waffling. He's going back and forth on this, but there are staffers in the White House telling him, don't do it. So we put this story.
Even his lawyer hinted Diddy had some unexpected master plan ready to drop. Was this outrageous clone twist the mystery move he meant back then?